Oh, you guys are moving to Thailand? That's gonna be so cool. So people always think that Thailand and Taiwan are the same place. They're not. Thailand speaks Thai, and Taiwan speaks Taiwanese and Chinese. So no, they're not quite the same per se. Hey everybody, my name is Tommy, and I live in Taichung, Taiwan. I wanted to explain to you today why I moved to Taiwan. If you guys can, there's a subscribe button. I don't know where it's at underneath, I'm not gonna lie. If you could press that button, it helps me out. If you guys subscribe to my channel, it gives you guys notifications when I upload new videos, and it also tells you if I come up with whatever I'm trying to say. Thank you. Okay, so I grew up traveling a lot. Generally, actually moving. We moved everywhere from Illinois to Indiana to Wisconsin most of the time throughout my childhood. That made it so that way as I got older, I actually still had this inkling and this like little bug like, I want to keep going and I want to keep going. So I ended up moving over the United States, everywhere from Rhode Island, New Mexico, and then finally settled in Utah and spent 5 years in Utah. And one of the things that always pushed me was the fact that I had never left the country. So in 2016, I ended up getting my passport, and I was like, you know what, like, let's do something. I'm thinking it might be a little bit of fun to get out of the country, check something out. So I ended up going to Japan for my first trip. My girlfriend had always wanted to go to Japan, and we ended up going to Japan and spent about a week in Japan, going anywhere from like Shibuya to, I can't even recall the names of the places. We did a lot of different things. We saw a lot of different cultural sites and marks that I had never actually experienced in my life, but I had seen on TV or other things like that. And it was just an eye-opening experience for me, the fact that I actually had seen something that my culture doesn't share at all. So fast forward another 2 years, I finally finished up my degree, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, hey, are we actually going to get going? Are we going to do something? Are we going to stay in the United States? Are we going to go overseas? We don't really know. But initially, my original goal was that I was going to end up going for a master's degree in Tokyo. And I went out to Japan, but I had an invitation from my friends to be able to come out to Taiwan for a little bit. So I ended up coming out to Taiwan to come visit my friends, and I was thinking to myself, like, you know, maybe we could have a little bit of fun for a little bit. I'm expecting it to be like China, which I've been to as well, and it's going to be kind of, sorry to say, but filthy. Not what I was really wanting to be around. I get out to Taiwan, kind of like what I expected. It was Taiwan, like, kind of similar looking to China in some respects, but not the same at all. Ended up getting down to my friend's restaurant, and later that night we ended up going out to a night market, and my mind was blown. I've never seen things like this, where there's just food lining the streets, there's people who are just constantly in close contact. But I say that like it's a bad thing, because now it is right now. But people just in close contact with each other, buying all this different food and just eating and sharing. It was really cool. So I spent the week in Taiwan, ended up doing the fish biting your feet, did like the gondolas, went through the night markets a couple times, actually ended up speaking to a bunch of the kids and trying to learn like a little bit of Chinese, learn more bad words than anything. But did my best with trying to pick up some language, and it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. So I came back to the United States and talked to my girlfriend. I was thinking, I'm like, where do we want to go? Do we know yet? So we took a trip together, and then we took another trip together. We both actually ended up liking it here. It was a reasonably priced area. We could get food for cheap. We could have any type of fun pretty much for cheap. Transportation's cheap. I don't want to make it sound like everything in Taiwan is cheap, because there are normal priced things here. But the vast majority of things that we saw were actually fairly cheap. So we were like, maybe we could actually save some money here. Maybe we could have some, fun and save some money, and we could also eat well while we're out here. So we ended up deciding that we were going to move to Taiwan in, I think, January of 2018, but we didn't know what our timeline was going to look like. So we continued to work, and we ran into a snag because we have 2 cats. One of the requirements when you try to bring your pets to Taiwan is that they have to go through a 6-month quarantine period. And the quarantine period consists of a bunch of vaccinations. It consists of a bunch of tests on your animal just to make sure that they can get overseas. Because if they have rabies, they can't necessarily allow them into the island, which I'm pretty sure Taiwan has rabies. So we ended up having to go through a 6-month quarantine period. After we had our cats checked out and everything cleared with them, we decided we were going to go. And we moved to Taiwan and came in through the gates, and they took our pets right away. They spent a week in quarantine. We ended up getting our apartment out here. Few perks, just to let you know. Our apartment right here is awesome. We have a 2-bedroom apartment, probably close to 1,000 square feet, and we are paying $650 US a month. Our average food bill, probably about $150 a month each. Average electricity bills are generally about $30 US a month, And our cell phone bills are about $30 US a month, and our gas bill and water bills are generally about $10 US a month. It's really cheap. And the thing is, when you actually realize that all the food that you buy every single day, all the activities that you do, you can do those on the cheap in a country like Taiwan, whereas countries like Japan, food is generally about the same price as it is in America. Apartments are generally about the same price for a lot smaller of an area as they are in America. And activities generally about the same price as they are in America. Taiwan turns out to be a great alternative. It turns out to be a place where you can actually do a lot of things on the cheap, but also have a lot of fun at the same time. That's my reasons for why I moved to Taiwan. If you guys enjoyed the video, there's some button you can hit that like one, or you can hit that subscribe one. I'm pointing to the Air or my pants. But if you guys can hit those buttons, that helps me out a lot, and I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. So have a great day. Bye.